Well, the use of CGI in Victoria is largely because we were filming in Yorkshire. There was a huge drop-off in what we could achieve in terms of exterior London.
We built all of London with a path from the countryside where Kensington Palace is into the town.
We completely built the horse and the rider in post and then had them running through a digital landscape.
Our environment team used maps, old paintings. The largest landmark in London was St Paul's, and added in a 3D crowd, horses and carriages, chimney smoke, lens flares to add to the realism of the shot. Also in the messenger shot, it was a request from Mammoth to add in a Victorian building site, just to add in that layer of detail to the story that London was expanding at this time.
The beginning of something special was happening. Milk has really excelled and really done something bold, interesting and new. They put a lot of their feature film expertise to TV production. They're recently Oscar winners.
Currently we're working on Fantastic Beasts, Born 5, and we are about to start work on another series of Doctor Who.
It was great to see them on set, making jokes about how there'd be no spaceships this time. The production had been really clever with parade ground scenes, using certain shots so that you can create that huge world.
I wish to be called Victoria.
1 million people came to London to watch her become Queen Victoria.
They use a 3D tool called Gollum. Instead of hundreds of people, we were allowed to have thousands.
Animation cycles of people waving hats and hankies, clapping and cheering were triggered at different times in the shot.
That little girl isolated in a sea of crowds is a lovely moment. I'm really proud of that shot.
Back in Victoria's time, Buckingham Palace was a U-shape with marble arch at the front of it.
There's one shot of Buckingham Palace with a duck pond in front of it, and it just looks completely real.
We replaced the present-day Buckingham Palace with our model of the Victorian Buckingham Palace. We also added in some 2D crowd elements of Victorian people wandering around. We hope that when viewers sit down to watch Victoria, no one would even think that there's visual effects in this episode. We want it to be completely believable. The effects need to be invisible, so that no one is aware that what they're watching is computer generated. To make it a believable world and to transport the audience back to the Victorian era. There were hundreds and hundreds of guests at the coronation.
But obviously no one is there on the day. All the people in all the rafters is all CGI.
We organised a green screen shoot with about 15 supporting artists. We then shot them doing a couple of different movements, turning their head to follow the Queen as she walks by. We then multiply the 15 supporting artists so that we have 100 or so of them. We need to vary them so it's not obvious that it's 15 people repeated. So we did things like change their hair colour, tweak their costumes a bit. It was shot in Beverley Minster and obviously it needed to look like Westminster Abbey, so we tweaked some of the architecture. In one of the shots we added in a large stained glass rose window. We also extended the location back a bit so it looked a bit larger. We've added some god rays shining through on Victoria as she's crowned that really add to the romantic feel. There was such a range of work to do in Victoria, from modelling and texturing, 2D, 3D, environment work, and we've got such a great team at Milk that are just so passionate about whatever they do that everyone gave their all to the shots for Victoria.